You have anxiety.
Mm.
Do you feel like you pick the worst possible job for that? Or is it like, oh, pretty, all right, fuck it. Let's monetize it.
The anxiety really doesn't come up in my job so much.
Interesting.
Because I'm the one pulling the strings, right? Jeff and I and Spike. Like I know each of us, me, Spike, Jeff, know 98% of the things that are going on the set, and 2% we will hold from each other.
Right. Okay.
And I don't worry about someone pranking me because like that's going to cost them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you're like Islam in that way.
I get that a lot.
I'm sure you get mistaken for Islam a lot. You don't like jokes about you.
Oh fuck.
Okay, so how is it in your life? How's the anxiety in your life?
I'm better with it now. It still happens.
We're talking anxiety attacks, general anxiety.
I don't have attacks, but you can spend too much time thinking about something and I guess ruminating, and it sometimes it comes across as like socially being out somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm scared of crowds.
Always?
I'm getting better, but I usually try to avoid crowds.
And that's not a fame deal. That's just you don't like
that
crowds.
was like I got out
when you were 18.
I went when I was 4 years old. My dad took me to a Tennessee game. 100,000 drunk, hyped up Vol fans, and I was terrified. And since then, I'm just don't like it.
Do you worry about your loved ones a lot? Do you worry about?
I worry about my kids.
Yeah.
I was as far as saying something or doing something a little off color, I was pretty open-minded. But if they were on the playground climbing or anything, like I was the worst helicopter parent right under them, because I just couldn't stand the thought of them.
You're aware of
hurt.
how ironic that is, right?
Yeah.
What if they had said, "I'm Johnny Knoxville's daughter, and this is Jungle Jim"?
Would
that have helped?
I let them know that. Well, I have 2 daughters and a son, and the daughters I could just tell they're not. They like the pranking side or giving me or my friends hell, but they just don't have that side.
Well, I think that's a pretty clear gender. I mean, it's not universal, but like I'm dealing with a 4-year-old boy, and he literally is like,
they're out of their mind.
Can we fight?
Yeah.
After dinner, can we fight?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we can fight.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
But my son, like, he's a little wild, but even he, like, I can tell that he's got a better head on his shoulders than what I did.
And plus,
we had different lives too.
And they don't have a kid that they can't afford. That's making them do all this horrible shit.
Had to make some quick moves.
Anxiety. Mm-hmm. So you have like standing anxiety.
Yeah. Before I understood what that meant, and I just had a very cursory idea, like, oh, you're anxious, you're nervous, or whatever, and I didn't really think about it. And I was, and have been since I was younger, prone to depression, and I always just assumed, again, ignorance. Oh, I'm a depressive. I get depressed, and then it got pretty bad. There was a couple of things that kind of triggered it when I was in Los Angeles, and then I started going to a therapist, which I'd never done, and she was amazing. And then she recommended going to a psychiatrist, whoever can describe. Yeah. And I started seeing the psychiatrist, and he's the one who diagnosed me. He goes, yes, you've got anxiety. You've got this level of anxiety. And that was a real eye opener, because I didn't know what I true anxiety was. And then when I was
Like it was functional. That was just your personality.
not it's what I had and it's what I could treat. And I could treat it both with chemicals, which I did and do, and I can treat it by learning how to not go so deep, like like come out of it a bit. And I remember one time I was in a car driving, and I was on Sunset trying to take a left on La Cienega. So do you remember that area? And there's like a pink dot over there. I was looking down. I was looking my left, and I was looking down the hill, and I was seeing the Beverly Center, Beverly Connection. And
a beautiful view.
Yeah. And I've been in LA for maybe 2 years at that point. And I had like a real kind of panic attack. Like attack is too strong a word, but it was just
a flood.
A flood. Yeah. It just overtakes, and the light turns green, and I can't go, and people are honking, and I'm just looking. It was
I will say, I've been not all over the world, but I put that in my top 10 most stressful intersections.
Yeah.
Because going up La Cienega, you're rolling back.
Yeah.
And
I was going down.
I get it. Yeah. But I'm saying, and that left, it's 2 lanes.
Yeah.
There's, of course, the pink dot. You don't want to fuck up in front of the pink dot.
You do not want to fuck up in front of the pink dot.
And there's 2 this way, down a hill.
That was such a novel idea. Like, whoa, this place is like a 7-Eleven, but they'll deliver to you?
It was incredible.
There was nothing like it at the time. There were no apps, and you're like,
we're
you
a
get
million
toilet
years
paper,
old.
Ice cream.
Yes.
Colt 45.
Yep. Cigarettes
and condoms and a frozen pizza.
Yep.
And they'll just put it in a car and bring it to you.
Let me get this straight. Yeah. It was incredible.
But yeah, so I had this, and I knew then, I was like, okay, this can't, because I had little episodes when I was younger, and a lot of it was, having moved to Los Angeles and not liking LA, and also the thought of like integrity, and all that stuff. Who am I? Am I being true to myself, et cetera, et cetera? And then I knew it was time to get some help.
For some reason, you have anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
How's the anxiety manifest? Just worry? Is it sitting anxiety? Is it like a resting, like kind of omnipresent state?
It's not something I've had my whole life, but it's something I'm working through currently. And it comes up in ways of feeling claustrophobic. But that I've also been told that can be tied into trauma in life, and so yeah. But I feel like I'm starting to get a hold of it a bit.
My experience. Have you ever had it on stage? Panic attack?
No, I've had out of body moments, that kind of thing, but not.
Was the set going good or just randomly? Good, bad?
Probably everything in between. All those, there's only been a handful of times where I've been like, oh, this is what's happening. Sometimes I'll even do it where I'm like, my mouth is moving. I'm saying words. Am I going to know the next word I need to say? Yeah. Is this a word? Like when I'm on stage, I'm like, what am I talking about? Why are people here to see me? Where I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's just like being alive, and the job is very weird. If you ever get too much of a wide shot, you're like, what am I doing? Why am I what am I doing?
Do you have that with words though, where you're like, is this a word?
Absolutely.
That's a word.
Absolutely.
My mouth is moving.
Absolutely.
That sound is a word too.
Yeah. And
they know these words.
Yeah, they know. I don't know how they know.
Yeah.
But they know. We all know these words.
We know these words.
There's one thing I know.
Yeah.
Is that we know these words.
These words.
What do you do with the anxiety?
Breathing exercises. I do deep breathing. I exercise every day. And like I said, I try to get rest. But mainly I rely on deep breathing.
Is that a thing that you were like, I think I got to deal with this anxiety. Let's bring in some deep breathing, or was this a 2012 relic?
No, this is something that it's so weird how in life you hear about it, like when you're a small child and somebody says, take a deep breath, you know, and you're like, that's not going to help me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it actually will.
Yeah.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
And there's a science to it.
Yeah.
So take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
And I try and explain it to my children instead of just saying, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the...
Are they buying it? Or are they...
They do.
Do they?
And it's
Great.
so, at their school, they teach mindfulness and they do meditation. And
Great.
so it's not like a leap for me to tell them to please just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
But seeing it work with them too is pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it doesn't work for everyone or all the time, but it's certainly a really tremendous go-to.
Hey, did you like that? Did you like that? Yeah, did you like it though? You want more? Don't want to work? Would rather watch videos of me grab-assing with people? First of all, go up here to subscribe, and then go up here to watch more clips. This is like when the weatherman says there's a high pressure system coming in. I'm not really used to the green screen.